Greetings. This is Gentleman Jim the Tailor and
Victoria Baylor, Dressmaker. Hey guys.
And who are you?
I'm Deirdre Jenkins, student.
Deirdre Jenkins, student. We're honored this morning to have a student that came to see me.
She's so wonderful.
She came. Tell us where you come from.
I'm originally from New York. I'm currently living in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Spartanburg, South
She's
Carolina,
a neighbor.
just up the way a little bit.
Yes.
You know, and why you come down here?
To learn from the wonderful Mr. Jim.
I know that wonderful. I can be mean, can't I, at times?
You're good at being mean.
All right there. But basically, Deirdre Jenkins came down to enhance her sewing skills. When she first called me, she called me like a lot of other people. She wanted to improve in certain areas. Now, needless to say, she's only been down here for 3 days now, so it's not like my regular students who do 12, 15 weeks with us. So when they call me and they ask me that, I try and give them what they really want to get now. And then we work and perfect on that so that when she leaves here, we know that area is covered there. And you basically came down here to
Learn how to sew correctly.
Correct. Now, Sister Deirdre, you know, you said you came to improve on your skills. And tell us, what were the basic things that's helping you now?
Sewing straight.
Okay.
Zippers and pockets.
You see that, guys? I've been telling you that all along. And now you see why.
Yes.
The sewing straight is so important because it's turned what you thought was a nightmare into, I can do that.
So actually, tell us a little bit about your background. So what's great about having a student on board is that, you know, we all at some point are a student, and we currently all are a student. Like Mr. Jim said, we're always learning. Tell us where you are kind of in your learning and a little bit about your background. You shared some interesting stuff earlier.
Okay, well, my background is actually in biology. And I work in computers, so how does that work out? But about 3 years ago, I wanted to get into sewing, so I did the whole package. I bought the sewing machines, I watched the YouTubes, but there was a disconnect. I didn't get the full knowledge of what I needed to do, so it wasn't clear what I need to do, so that kind of died out.
Now, were you starting from scratch? Like
Started
just
from scratch.
no prior experience?
No prior experience.
Oh, so you were just a brave soul. Just jump right in it.
Thanks to YouTube. I'm not like you guys that can learn by yourself. I need to see somebody do it. And say about 3 or 4 months ago, I watched Anita by Design, and
I love her. She's a sweetheart.
Yes, she is. She really helped me learn how to sew because she did it from the very bottom. So then I realized, okay, I can do this, because now it wasn't clueless. Even though I was doing things, I was doing it clueless. So she kind of cleared that up, and then I realized how much I love sewing. And then I watched one of your shows. I watched a few of your shows, but a couple of weeks where you were doing the questions.
Like Q&A?
Yeah, the Q&A. And I said, okay, you know what? My birthday just passed. I'm going to give myself a present. I'm going to take one of his courses. So I contacted him on YouTube, and he immediately responded.
He puts his phone number on YouTube.
Yeah,
I saw it. I was like, Mr. Jim posted his phone number. He doesn't care.
I was kind of surprised by that, so I immediately called, and then we made the arrangements, and here I am.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I will say, and I know Ms. Jim's got some more great questions for you. I will say there's something to be said about your relentlessness and your push, because getting into anything new for the first time is really tough, and it can be intimidating, but you just kept digging. Now, where does that come from? Is that normally how you are when you're doing a task? Or you just felt a challenge, you wanted to get this going?
Well, like I said, I found out that I really love sewing. And because I loved it, I wanted to do it right.
Gotcha.
And that's where, getting some help. I wanted to go to the conference in LA with Mimi G, but I'm not able to make that. So since I'm in driving distance, it was, just a better opportunity to go see Mr. Jim, Gentleman Jim, and learn from him.
Awesome.
Thank you. We're honored. I'm honored for several reasons. I tell people all the time, you guys contact me, and I'm just here to give you what I can give you based on what I know. And in that, I share with you all that I have. And I know since you've been here, you keep commenting, wow, I'm learning more than just sewing. Tell us what else you're learning.
Well, how to properly make the skirt that I have been making before I got here. So it's like the whole construction of what I did previously has now changed, and it's better off, definitely.
Okay.
So what was your issue before with that skirt? Was it just like understanding the directions, actually executing? Was it the zipper hang up? What did you figure out?
Well, like I said, I need YouTubes. I've tried reading the patterns, and I can go so far, and then they'll, explain something. I'm like, what is that?
So you're visual.
I kind of get caught up in that, and then the project just kind of dies after that.
Mm-hmm.
There were some hang-ups. Like, there are a lot of things that I could do better, and that was simply because I just needed to be trained properly, and I just needed it hands-on. Visual is definitely good for me, but I needed somebody to say, okay, no, that's wrong. Don't do that.
That's Mr. Jim.
And I got that. He has a whole lot of wisdom, a whole lot, and I am ever so thankful for everything that he's freely shared with me, because basically, all he has to do is teach me how to sew a straight line, do a zipper, and do pockets, but I'm getting so much more, so I appreciate that.
You had mentioned to me, and this is one of the things that I give back to all my students. I let them see how an operation runs. And by seeing by that, you kind of said, I didn't think I wanted to maybe do this, but tell us about that, what you told me yesterday.
Well, when I contacted Mr. Jim, he had explained that, okay, what do you want to do? And I basically said, I just want to make clothes for myself because, I wear skirts.
Mm-hmm.
I can't always find the skirts that I want, so the solution was to make the skirts that I want to make.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just typically explained to him, I just want to make clothes for myself. And he says, well, do you want to do a business with this? And, initially I said no. And then when I hung up the phone with him, I was like, it just kind of made me think. Mm-hmm. And then when I came here, he, showed me the students that, he trained and are doing fantastic.
Yeah, they've taken off.
Yes. And I'm like, maybe there's a little bit more to this. So, once I really established a straight line, because, there's that straight line and then there is a straight line. I was doing the other one, not the good one.
She's so funny. That's real talk, though.
Yeah.
Real talk.
So, it's an opportunity now that I would at least want to look into because he brought it up to me. So.
And in what we do, like we talk about this all the time, you don't have to quit your day job in today's world.
No.
Cyberspace opens up the world to you. You can continue doing what you're doing and doing something on the side, and then all of a sudden you turn a corner. Somebody will start purchasing your things, and then they'll purchase some more and they'll want some more.
Actually, not to interrupt, but I heard the statistics about that yesterday, specifically that thing. The founder of Spanx, the woman that's a billionaire, she started that while she was working. John Mayer started singing and posting his stuff while he was an accountant. And they said actually that most people that do that, they'll run parallel, have like a 30% chance of just being successful.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Sure.
Started on the side.
Sure, it becomes a side business, and then depending on what type of job you have and what kind of foundation and background and security, and is there all these perks after you done worked 30, 40 years, there's a lot to consider because, I've been in it all my life. I've never done anything but this. But people that have done it, I know that. If your job isn't maybe a government job or something where after, the old saying, after you retire, they give you a pat on the back and a gold watch and tell you did a good job for the past 30, 40 years. If this becomes lucrative to you, I tell people all the time, and here's something that a lot of people ask me all the time. Well, I got insurance, and I got this, and I did that. Listen, make enough money and get your own insurance. That's what I have to do.
That's true.
Make enough money and take your own vacations. That's what I have to do. Because there's something about signing the front of the check that makes you more independent.
Yes.
You know, so.
Absolutely.
How about that?
How about that?
So I have a couple just little tidbit questions. So
Okay.
I know you haven't been sewing super, super long, but what is your favorite thing to sew and play around sewing? And then what is like the worst thing you don't want to sew?
Favorite, I don't know if I have that yet. I like, for lack of a better word, the power that sewing gives you, because you can make it the way you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the best that I've made was skirts. I would like to tackle like maybe blazers, so I can make a whole suit or something like that. You know, a complete
nice.
set, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, do
To
my
go with
whole
that
wardrobe.
business,
That's
you're
right.
setting it.
That's right. Put it all together.
That's right.
But yes.
And then the worst thing you kind of don't, or the one operation that kind of you're not a fan of.
Let's see. Nothing comes to mind right now. I know
Oh,
it
that's good.
exists.
That's
It
good.
exists, though. It's
Oh, yeah.
escaping me right now.
No, no worries.
That will come.
That's right.
Once you really start getting into it, you're going to run up against something. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Now, I am at this stage of my career now. A whole lot of things I just don't want to do them anymore. Not that I can't. I just don't want to do them.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is that people approach me all the time about making this and making that. And I thought, no, I'll make this, I'll make that. And then all of a sudden I think about it. I might take that on. But the key to it is because I can.
That's right. And you're getting compensated.
That's
for it.
what you build yourself up. Because I tell people all the time, when I hear them make this terrible, terrible cliche, well, I can't make that. No, you just don't know how to make it. If you can sew, there's absolutely nothing you can't make. It's a matter of understanding what you have to do in order to make this item, and that item. Well, say you can't do it, but I hear that all the time. I can't do that. No, you don't have an understanding on how to make it happen. But the bottom line, it all starts from the basics.
And I actually have, so I like to think about certain things. So I think Mr. Jim and I have talked in the past about the notion of having sewing instincts. And I think about it often when I'm actually performing something. When you've sewn enough, you'll just kick in and know what to do. But it's amazing, they're kind of developed. Are you starting to see that happen where like you're sewing and you automatically know, like, I got to hold my hand a certain way, I need to do this?
Yes.
Is that starting to kick in for you?
It is starting to kick in. One thing that I've noticed that there's a pattern, typically, yes, there's a pattern, but there's a pattern into how you sew a certain thing. Just learning the basic, how you maneuver a certain thing. You pretty much do it basically the same way every time. There will be a little bit of difference between each one, but the basic is there.
Now, I will ask you this because I always think background plays into how well we sew. Mr. Jim and I talk about that. Mm-hmm. So because you are a science, like you're in the sciences and you're kind of in computers, which means you're probably a little bit of a left brain, how does that factor in with your sewing?
I can be a bit of a perfectionist. I want to do it and I want to do it right. Another lady that I follow on YouTube or Instagram, Erica B.
Oh, everybody loves Erica.
Yes, she made a point that the inside should look as good as the outside.
She's right. Yes.
And when I started paying attention to that, I was like, okay. And, that's one of the things I try to focus on as well. Because there was a time, no, that wasn't the focus. So now, better at it.
No, and I think that's always a good sign of good sewing character, because you kind of do want to slip around and you're like, well, it's on the inside, just stuff it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Why not the totality of the garment look professional? You're right. Absolutely.
Well, that's very, very good, very, very interesting, very fulfilling, that you would share these moments with us. And, like as I tell, I keep talking to you guys all the time. Victoria keeps talking to you guys all the time. And every now and then we're blessed to have someone that comes into my studio to be able to share those moments. Now, like anything else, I don't force anybody to come here. I don't say that my way is the only way. As you see, you follow other people, and that's good. I just give you the insight on how I was professionally trained to do this. And now I professionally train others to do it. But that doesn't mean that the rest of the world out there does not have some answers that I might not have. So, you know, it's about seeking knowledge. And this industry, like you've been seeing, it can be very lucrative. You know, I can say that because it's taken care of me for 55 years. I've always done it. I've never been without any type of business. If I need some money, I don't ask the Father for some money. I ask him for some business, because business reverts right back into a numerical exchange. That's why I like to use that. It's a numerical exchange.
Well said.
I'm going to do this for you, and you're going to give me that.
That's right. Give me that green stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, but like I say, we're honored to have you here and to be part of our little show here. We keep reaching out to those that, you know, seek our help. There are a lot of media out there that tells you, can help you and enhance you. You know, I'm on Gumroad, Victoria is too, and we keep sharing, you know, our information with the universe, because it's not ours to keep.
Nope, not at
It's not
all.
ours to keep. So with that, I want to thank you again. I want to thank our viewing audience for being with us, and anytime I get a student in here that we can share something with, we're going to give it to you guys, because everybody has a different slant on how they approach this. They have
That's right.
a different way that they've received it and what they can do with it. So you guys just stay tuned. This is Gentleman Jim Taylor bidding you adieu, and
Victoria Baylor Dressmaker and our wonderful guest.
Deirdre Jenkins.
Deirdre Jenkins. See? So we'll be back with you guys next week.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good week. God bless.